So let's start with the aggregates. And aggregates can include sands, both natural and manufactured sands, crushed aggregates, natural stones, and recycled aggregates. And like I said, these make up the bulk of the concrete volume, and they strongly influence the workability of the mix, and that's derived largely by the gradation, which is important, and I'll get to that in a little while. So when we're talking about workability and how aggregates influence workability, we have to look at not just the type of material, but the shape of the material, the shape of the particles. Are they round? Are they rough? Are they very angular? How well do they pack together? And are they coarse or are they fine? Because fine aggregates, finer particles have much more surface area, and surface area really dominates workability, especially when we start talking about our sand. For concrete countertops, most of the time we're making thin sections of concrete, often 1.5 inches or 2 inches thick. And because of that, we have to limit the size of the particles to be about 3/8 of an inch or 10 millimeters or smaller. It's very rare to need anything bigger, and we don't want to be using 1/2 inch or 3/4 inch stone like you would in conventional concrete, simply because it would act as a weak particle rather than making it strong. It's just too big for such thin sections of concrete. In the pictures here I show on the left ball bearings. Now we would never use ball bearings, but it illustrates a point that very smooth rounded particles really have very little interparticle friction. They roll around each other, and smoother particles boost our workability. If your mix, however, is based on a crushed stone, where it's a manufactured product, you can see in this photo the particles are very angular and sharp, and they really pack together well. The particles knit together, and because of that we get higher strengths. On the other hand, the downside is we lose workability. So if you're struggling with your mix and it's just hard to make a really workable mix, and you know you're using crushed aggregate, the reason is the particles are knitting together very efficiently, and that's a potential limitation of working with crushed stone. Focusing on our fine aggregates, these are the sands, and sands can be manufactured, they can be crushed, or they could be natural. And sands, because they have such a high surface area, have a great degree of influence on the workability of your concrete. More surface area means we need more cement paste to coat all those particles and let them move around. And that also can influence the way you may consider adding water to your mix. And I'm going to get into that later when we talk about water. Just like coarse aggregates, fine aggregates are graded. So coarser sands, if we talk about screen sizes, number 8, number 16, number 30, a number 8 screen is about 2 millimeters, or roughly 1/16 of an inch in size. We talk about number 30 sieve, which is a little bit finer. We're getting to be like a coarse salt, or a medium or a salt-sized particle. When we get down to the really fine sands, sugar-sized sands, or even powder, that's where we can start to begin to see some issues. Fine sands tend to trap a lot of air in your concrete. The air particles, the air bubbles just can't push their way through the fine sand, and so our mixes tend to have a lot more air bubbles entrained and trapped in them, because the excessive fines hold those air bubbles in the concrete. It's sometimes said that if you have a concrete mix that has a lot of excessive fines, you're going to be making weaker concrete. One of the reasons for this is concrete that has excessive fine material in it tends to be very stiff. It's very hard to get a good workable concrete, and so the tendency is for someone making that concrete to want to add water to it to increase the workability, because when you add water, you're actually increasing your paste content. And again, when I talk about water, I'll talk about the negative effects of that. But if you have a lot of fine sand in your mix, you can have that tendency to want to add more water. So that's something we want to avoid. I keep mentioning aggregate gradation, and if you just think about it, it's a description of the particle sizes: big stuff, medium-sized stuff, and little-sized stuff. And that's a very crude description of it. But there are 3 basic types of gradation. On the left we have well-graded aggregates, and that's sort of the idea of filling as much of the space in the concrete with stone and sand. So very solid, inert particles. And well-graded mixes use very little cement paste. They tend to be very stable, very strong. But one of the challenges with well-graded mixes is it's very hard to find all those different sizes you need and knowing how to proportion how much big stuff, how much medium-sized stuff, how much little stuff. It's kind of science in and of itself. Poorly graded aggregates, you can think of those as the ball bearings. They're all the same size. And these kind of mixes are really easy. It's like using nothing but gravel or nothing but one size sand. They tend to need a lot of cement paste to fill all those voids in between the particles, which are empty, and that tends to lead to more shrinkage issues. Poorly graded mixes tend to be a little bit more workable, but again, that depends on the shape. A compromise between the two are gap-graded aggregates, and that's really where most concretes fall. You may have a natural pea gravel, let's say, that has a variety of sizes, and then that's blended with, say, an all-purpose masonry sand, which again has a variety of sizes in it, but there's no continuous gradation between big and small. You can clearly see big and clearly see small, and these are where most concretes fall in. Now, how does this influence the workability of your mix? Well, if you want to make a stiff mix, let's say you're going to be packing that concrete and you want to put in veins, make a variegated or a hand press look, you're going to want to have a very stiff clay-like mix, as you can see in the picture. And those tend to be best made with an all sand mix, because the fine sand doesn't give you a chunky look. You have a nice creamy consistency, whereas if it had gravel in it, it would be more rocky and difficult to get the texture you wanted. Because it's stiff, it's going to trap whatever air is mixed in the concrete, and so when you grind it to expose the ingredients, you're going to see pinholes, and that's a characteristic of a stiff mix, is it always will have pinholes and voids at the surface and in the concrete. So these are mixes that are designed to be this way, and that's a natural characteristic of them. The complete opposite of that type of mix is a fluid mix, where you pour it and you want to maybe perhaps vibrate it and get a very intricate casting. You might consider it a perfect slab or as an as-cast finish, where it comes out of a perfect mold and there are no pinholes. And these types of mixes are usually a gap-graded or a fairly well-graded mix that has aggregate in it, because they're the best type of mixes to get high fluidity and high workability. And when you have a fluid mix, air can push its way out of the concrete on its own, and that's how you get that really good high-quality finish.